There comes a time in each of our lives when what we see, what we feel, and what we fear seem louder than any voice of hope. Maybe you've been there, or maybe you're living in that space right now. You wake up and it feels like the weight of the world is resting on your chest. The bills are stacking, relationships are cracking, your mind is spinning, and your heart, it feels like it's barely holding on. And in those moments, it's so tempting to believe that what we see and feel is all there is. But I want to tell you something. You were not created to live by sight alone or be ruled by fleeting feelings. You were designed to live by a deeper truth, a love that does not shift with your circumstances. You see, life is unpredictable. Emotions rise and fall. Some days you feel on top of the world, and other days it's a victory just to get out of bed. But here's what doesn't change: the truth of who you are and who is walking with you through it all. When fear creeps in, when it presses against your chest like a weight too heavy to bear, there's a melody rising inside of you, one that reminds you of peace, of strength, of resilience. That melody is not your imagination. It's a reminder that there is still a way forward, even when everything else says stop. It's the quiet whisper that says, don't give up, not today. And we all feel fear. Even the strongest among us face it. Fear of failure, fear of rejection, fear of being alone, fear of not being enough. But listen, you were never meant to carry fear by yourself. Fear isn't a life sentence, it's an invitation to surrender. Not to give up, but to give over. There is a presence available to you, more faithful than a friend, more steady than your emotions. It's the kind of presence that doesn't walk away when things get messy. The kind that says, hand me your fear and I'll hand you peace. What would your life look like if you started treating fear not as a master, but as a signal to return to love, to truth, to stillness? And maybe today you feel like you're too weak to even try. Maybe you're tired of fighting. Maybe you're thinking, I just don't have the strength anymore. And if that's where you are, I want you to know something deeply true. Your weakness is not your disqualification, it's your doorway. What if I told you that it's okay not to be strong all the time? That it's okay to not have it all together? In fact, those moments, those raw, broken, tear-filled moments, can become the most powerful ones in your journey. Because it's in those very places of surrender that strength beyond your own begins to rise. You don't have to fake it. You don't have to pretend to be okay when you're not. There is strength available to you that doesn't require perfection, just permission. Strength that is made perfect not in your polished success, but in your honest vulnerability. When you lay down the need to control, to impress, to fix it all yourself, that's when true transformation begins. Not because you figured it all out, but because you finally allowed something greater than fear, greater than pressure, greater than you, to carry you. So today, I invite you to pause, to breathe, to take your hands off the wheel of constant striving and allow peace to meet you right where you are. Not tomorrow, not when things get better, but right now, in your mess, in your questions, in your doubt. You don't need more answers. You need presence. You don't need more power. You need rest. And not the kind of rest the world gives, the kind that comes from knowing that even when you are weak, you are not abandoned. You are held. You are seen. You are safe. As you walk out of here, don't carry the lie that your feelings define your future. Don't let fear write your story. Don't let weakness stop your journey. Instead, let faith rise, not the loud kind, but the quiet, steady kind that simply chooses to take one more step, and another, and another. Not because the road is easy, but because you're not walking it alone. You know, one of the most powerful truths we often forget is this: your identity is not found in what you've done or in what has happened to you. It is found in who created you and in the love that called you worthy from the very beginning. So many people today are exhausted not just from work or relationships or responsibilities, but from trying to prove they are enough. They're carrying invisible weights, the pressure to perform, to be liked, to succeed, to fit in. And all the while, they're slowly forgetting who they truly are. But what if I told you that your worth was sealed long before the world ever gave its opinion? that before your first breath, a voice spoke over your life. You are mine, and you are already enough. You don't have to chase validation or hustle for love. You are a masterpiece. Yes, even in your mess. You don't become valuable when you achieve something big. You already are. When you start to see yourself through that lens, not the one shaped by people's praise or criticism, but the one shaped by divine intention, your entire life begins to change. Confidence begins to bloom, not because everything is perfect, but because you know who you belong to. But here's the reality. Even when we know our worth, there are days when the inner battles roar louder than the truth. Anxiety, fear, and doubt don't knock politely. They crash through the door of our hearts when we least expect it. Some of you are fighting silent wars right now, smiling on the outside, but battling thoughts that scream you're not good enough, not strong enough, not lovable enough. You lie awake at night wondering if you'll ever feel whole. And you become so good at hiding that even the people closest to you can't see the storm raging inside. But let me say this, you are not weak because you struggle. You are human. You are growing. You are healing. The presence of anxiety or fear doesn't mean you lack faith. It means you're still in the process. And that process is sacred. It's holy. And you don't have to walk it alone. There's a peace available to you that doesn't depend on your circumstances. A calm that flows not from everything being okay, but from knowing that even in the middle of a storm, you are not abandoned. You are accompanied. There's a kind of trust that develops when you bring your brokenness into the light instead of hiding it in shame. When you say, I don't have it all figured out, but I'm choosing to walk forward anyway. And that choice, that simple act of trusting in something greater than your own strength, that's where the shift begins. The anxiety may not vanish overnight. The doubts may not fall silent immediately, but you will begin to realize that they no longer define you. They may visit, but they no longer have permission to rule you. You see, courage doesn't always look like loud declarations or dramatic leaps. Sometimes, courage is simply getting up again, believing again, choosing peace again. Sometimes courage is holding on to the truth even when your feelings betray you. And there's one more thing. Faith isn't the absence of fear. It's the decision to walk anyway. It's saying, I may be afraid, but I know I'm not walking alone. It's choosing to breathe when your chest feels tight. It's choosing to speak life when all you feel is silence. It's choosing to believe that your story isn't over, even when the pages seem blank. So if you're feeling overwhelmed today, I want you to pause. Right now, take a deep breath, not just into your lungs, but into your soul. And hear this, you are not behind. You are not forgotten. You are in process. And that process is guided by love that never gives up on you. Love that doesn't run when things get dark. Love that walks with you through the valley and waits for you at the mountaintop. This love doesn't demand perfection. It simply invites you to trust. There is a new version of you on the other side of this battle. Stronger, wiser, kinder, more anchored. But to meet that version, you must be willing to walk through the discomfort. You must let go of who you thought you had to be and embrace who you were always meant to be. And you don't have to do that in your own strength. You were never supposed to. So my friend, wherever you are right now, whether you're weary from the fight, drowning in questions, or just longing for peace, know this, you are being held. You are being shaped. You are being restored. This moment is not the end. It's the beginning of something beautiful. Not because you've figured everything out, but because you've decided to trust again, to believe again, to rise again. The fog will lift. The clarity will come. But for now, rest in the truth that you are not alone, and you are not powerless. You are being guided by a love that is deeper than your fear, stronger than your pain, and more constant than your doubt. Take that next step, not with fear, but with faith. You've got this because you're not walking alone. If this message touched your soul, please take a moment to like this video, share it with someone who may need this reminder, and leave a comment below. Let us know what part spoke to you the most. I would love to hear your journey. And if you haven't already, subscribe to the channel for more weekly encouragement, hope, and truth that speaks not just to your mind, but to your heart and spirit. This space is here to remind you again and again, you are loved. You are chosen. You are never alone. Thank you for being here. Keep walking forward in faith. Your best is not behind you, it's just ahead. Until next time, stay strong, stay anchored, and never stop believing in the purpose placed within you.